What's up YouTube, it's your boy Nash here, welcome back to the channel, welcome to another episode of WWE's Biggest Issue. This week's episode is going to be a very, I would probably say this might be the most talked about episode that I've done because I want your guys' opinion on how the Royal Rumble was. Because many people have said that this was the worst Rumble we've had in years. I'm kind of biased on this one. Because when you think about the Royal Rumble and the worst Rumble events we've had ever, obviously, you have to look at Royal Rumble 2014 and 2015. But you're wondering why. Well, 2014 ended up being the worst one of them all because of the card because of the card itself. And the card was as follows. On the kickoff show, we had the New Age Outlaws defeat the Brotherhood, or I guess Cody Rhodes and Goldust, the Rhodes brothers, to win their 6th tag team title. Then, of course, we had Bray Wyatt versus Daniel Bryan, which was rather interesting, but it was in a Daniel Bryan defeat. Then we had Brock Lesnar versus The Big Show, Randy Orton versus John Cena for the what was back then known as the WWE World Heavyweight title. And then, of course, the 2014 Royal Rumble. And the order of entry was as follows. The order of entry was as follows. CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Damien Sandow, Cody Rhodes, Kane, Rusev, Jack Swagger, Kofi Kingston, Jimmy Uso, Goldust, Dean Ambrose, Dolph Ziggler, R-Truth, Kevin Nash, Roman Reigns, the Great Khali, Sheamus, The Miz, Fandango, El Torito, Cesaro, Luke Harper, Jey Uso, JBL, yes, JBL of all people, Eric Rowan, Ryback, Alberto Del Rio, Batista, Big E, and Rey Mysterio. A lot of people were expecting, Daniel Bryan to come out, but no, he didn't. And because of that, the fans wanted Roman Reigns to win. Nope, we got Batista. If you look at 2015 was the worst of them all because of, not just because of the card, but because of exactly who won the Royal Rumble. Now, the card was as follows. The main card was as follows. It was a very interesting match because we had the Brass Ring Club, or I guess Tyson Kidd and Cesaro, along with Adam Rose and Natalya in their corner, against the New Day's Big E and Kofi Kingston with King Woods in their corner. Then, of course, we had the Ascension, Connor and Victor defeating the New Age Outlaws. Then we had the Usos defeat the Miz and Damien Mizdow to retain the tag team titles. We had the Bella Twins versus Natalya and Paige. And then, of course, we have Brock Lesnar, John Cena, and Seth Rollins in a triple threat match for the WWE World Title. And then the 2015 Royal Rumble. The order of entry was as follows: The Miz, R-Truth, Bubba Ray Dudley, R-Truth, Bubba Ray Dudley, Luke Harper, Bray Wyatt. Originally Curtis Axel, but Eric Rowan ended up getting involved. Boogeyman, Sin Cara, Zack Ryder, Daniel Bryan, Fandango, Tyson Kidd, Stardust, DDP, Diamond Dallas Page, Rusev, Goldust, Kofi Kingston, Adam Rose, Roman Reigns, Big E, Damian Mizdow, Jack Swagger, Ryback, Kane, Dean Ambrose, Titus O'Neil, Bad News Barrett, Cesaro, The Big Show, and Dolph Ziggler. Because of the fact that Daniel Bryan got eliminated by Bray Wyatt, the entire all the fans in Philly did not give a damn who won. They didn't care. They wanted Daniel Bryan to win, but we ended up getting Roman Reigns instead. But because the Rusev and Roman Reigns were the final two, the fans wanted Rusev. Nope, we get Roman Reigns. I would probably estimate that this year's Royal Rumble, probably had to have been not the worst, but the most unique we've had in years. Because the card was as follows. We had the men's and the women's Royal Rumble matches. We had Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley for the WWE title. Becky Lynch versus Doudrop for the Raw Women's title. We had Edge and Beth Phoenix versus Miz and Maurice. And then, of course, we had Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins for the Universal title, which actually was the first match of the card. Now, I must admit, this was kind of an interesting matchup because I've said it before. Seth Rollins is right. Roman can't do it on his own. I talked about it I talked about it in the result video back. Back on Saturday, this past Saturday, I said that Rollins was right. Roman cannot do it on his own. It's been proven for years, but Roman is just too thick-headed to realize it. So, I mean, to be fair, Roman Reigns has held his championships just a little bit longer than Seth, to be fair. Because Seth Rollins, with both of his runs as Universal Champion, he held him for practically what? Let's see, WrestleMania. Let's see. Let's go back to 2019. Let's take a look. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, for 4 months, and then regained the title back at SummerSlam. So it's 5, 6, 7. So for a combined 7 months. As far as the WWE title, I think it was like 7. Yeah, so for about 14 months, about 14 months at best. Roman Reigns has held all of his titles, all 5 of his titles, his 2 Universal and his 3 WWE titles, a combined what? 26 months, if I'm correct. If I'm correct on that, I would say a combined 26 months. 26 months, which is impressive. But the fact that Roman Reigns decided to not listen to the referee and not break the 5 count is a testament to what Seth was saying about Roman Reigns. So, if I were to rate this from 1 star to 5 stars, I would give this 3 stars, because when you think about it, despite how it ended, this proved that Roman Reigns needed Paul Heyman. He needed Paul Heyman. He needed the Usos. Not much else to say about that. Not much else. Then, of course, we had the Women's Royal Rumble match, and I have to admit, this was a very intriguing card. This was actually intriguing. Because when you think about it, when you really think about it, hang on, guys. Sorry, guys, I had to get the Royal Rumble scorecard. The scorecards for the men's and the women's Rumbles. But when you think about the women's Royal Rumble match, you have to think about who's been in a single Rumble the longest, and that's Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair lasted 45 minutes. 45 minutes, and she entered at number 8. And then, of course, too, when you think about it, I think, let's see, I believe... When you think about it, I think the only person that eliminated more superstars than anybody from the women's Rumble was I think Ronda Rousey and Rhea Ripley, because they eliminated 4 superstars. Both women eliminated 4 superstars, and Rhea Ripley entered the match at number 16. Ronda Rousey made her return at number 28. So, I have to admit, this was not what we were expecting. This Women's Rumble I'm going to be real, this was the worst one of them all. Because the last few years, since 2018, when we had the first ever Women's Rumble match, Asuka won. 2019, Becky Lynch won. 2020, Charlotte Flair won. That one was kind of whatever. But last year's Rumble, Bianca Belair won, entering at number 3, and won the whole thing. This one has to be the worst, not because of who showed up, but it was more so of who won. So the order of entry went as follows: Sasha Banks, Melina, Tamina, Kelly, Aaliyah, Liv Morgan, Zelina Vega, Bianca Belair, Dana Brooke, the 24/7 champion, Michelle McCool, Sonya Deville, Natalia, Cameron, Naomi, both former Funkadactyls, of course, Carmella, Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair, Ivory with her right to censor gimmick, which was actually hilarious, Brie Bella, Hardcore Country, Mickie James, the Impact Knockouts champion, Alicia Fox, Nikki ASH, Summer Rae, Nikki Bella, Sarah Logan, Lita, Mighty Molly, Ronda Rousey, Shotzi, and of course Shayna Baszler. And funny enough, Rousey and Baszler are the only 2 that they were the only two in this Rumble that transitioned in the Women's Rumble that transitioned from the UFC to the WWE, and that's an impressive feat, I must admit. But this was the worst one of them all. Don't get me wrong, Ronda Rousey coming back, it's awesome. It was awesome to see her come back, but it wasn't her winning the match. It's a matter of who she's gonna pick. We know who she's gonna pick. She's gonna pick Becky Lynch because she's bitter. She's bitter by the fact that Becky Lynch beat Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania 35 a few years ago in MetLife Stadium. It was so predictable. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. It was so predictable. So predictable. We knew that was gonna happen. I don't have anything else to say about it, but honestly, I gotta give this 3 stars. To be honest, I mean, don't get me wrong. It was awesome to see Melina and of course Michelle McCool, Cameron, Ivory, the Bellas. But it was more awesome to see Mickie James come out with her hardcore country theme. So I'm assuming that maybe she might come back to WWE. Maybe we might see her defend the Impact Knockouts title on WWE soil, which is a possibility, but only time will tell. But again, Ronda Rousey winning the Rumble, we knew it was going to happen, or I guess rather we didn't know who was going to win, but we knew that if Ronda Rousey did win, we knew who she was going to pick, and she was going to pick Becky Lynch. So we know that tonight on Raw, she will be picking Becky Lynch, as far as we know, because if she doesn't pick Becky Lynch and she picks Charlotte Flair, it would not make any sense. Because the only reason why Charlotte Flair got involved in that triple threat match was because she wanted to prove that she was better than both women, and Becky Lynch proved she was better. So I think, honestly, it's going to be Becky Lynch that Ronda picks. But but speaking of Becky Lynch, we got Becky Lynch versus Doudrop. This was like one of the worst matches This was one of the worst matches we had on the card. If Liv Morgan had won, or if Bianca Belair had won, it would have been so. It would have been the match would have been so better. It would have been a lot more entertaining. This match sucked. I'm not even gonna rate this one. I'm only gonna give this one 2 stars. Because, not just because of the fact that Doudrop did come close from winning the title, but nobody even cared. And if you guys are wondering why, the WrestleMania sign had caught fire. So they had to evacuate that whole section so they can fix it. Yeah. Then of course we had the WWE title between Brock Lesnar, the champion, and the almighty Bobby Lashley. It was a battle to see who truly was the baddest of the bad. Was it Brock Lesnar or was it Bobby Lashley? This was absolutely incredible. I have to admit, this probably was the best match of the whole card, despite how it ended. Both men locked up. Collar and elbow tie up. How often do you see that from Brock Lesnar in today's WWE? Answer: not often. It is not often that you see that, but when you do see it, you know he means business. You know he means business, and you know that they have a healthy respect for one another. But the match was just so damn good. But the closing moments of the match was the fact that Roman Reigns got involved when the referee was down, hit Lesnar with a spear. Paul Heyman double-crossed Brock Lesnar and handed Roman the WWE title. And now Bobby Lashley is once again WWE champion. Don't get me wrong. Do not get it twisted. Bobby Lashley regaining the WWE title, he earned it. Let's not kid ourselves. He earned that title 100%. But the fact that Roman Reigns had to get involved proves that he wants to beat Brock Lesnar one more time. That's what it says. I think, going back to what I said with the match between Rollins and Reigns at the top of the Royal Rumble card, Roman Reigns, Seth is right, he can't do it on his own. But let's not forget that Brock Lesnar has beaten Roman Reigns so many times over the years. It's hard. You can't. Excuse me. You can't count how. It's hard to count how many times he's beaten Roman. You know, but there was only been like one. There was only been, aside from I think what, Crown Jewel. I think it was. Aside from Crown Jewel, there was only one other time that Roman did beat Brock Lesnar, and that was at SummerSlam in 2018 when he became Universal Champion in the first place. So we know it's gonna happen. It's going to happen one way or another. But I have to admit, that matchup was pretty awesome for the most part. But the closing moments, it just, I don't even know how to describe it. But yeah, I gotta give this one 3.5 stars only because if it was 4 stars, I would have given it 4 stars, maybe 4.5 stars. But had Roman Reigns not have gotten involved, I think honestly it wouldn't have mattered. To be honest, I think it would not have mattered either way. I think Bobby Lashley would have won either way. But still, Bobby Lashley he earned it. Let's just be real. He earned it 100%. So big shout outs to the Almighty. Congrats on becoming a 2-time champion. He earned it. But yeah, with the help of Reigns, Lashley ended up picking up the victory. And now Heyman is once again Roman's special counsel. Wonder what they have in store. Next up, we've got the Grit couple versus the It couple. Miz and Maryse against Edge and Beth Phoenix. I have to admit, this was a rather unique matchup, but there was no denying that Edge and Beth Phoenix were going to win. There was no denying it. So I'm not going to say anything else about it, except the fact that I'm giving this one 3 stars. Just plain simple. But now we move on to the men's Royal Rumble match, and I have to admit, this was kind of interesting. This was an interesting one, I have to admit. This was rather unique because because it took, I believe, 6 men. I think 6 or 7 men. 6 or 7 men to eliminate Omos from the men's Royal Rumble. And he entered the match at number 11. Number 11. It took quite a few dudes to eliminate him. And you know that tonight on Raw, he is going to unleash hell. We know it's going to happen. But I have to admit, the men's Royal Rumble, this one sucked. I'm being 100% honest. This one sucked. We were hoping for something better. Nope, we did not. The order of entry went as follows: AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, Austin Theory, Robert Roode, Ridge Holland, Montez Ford, Damian Priest, Sami Zayn, Johnny Knoxville, Angelo Dawkins, Omos, Ricochet, Chad Gable, Dominic Mysterio, Happy Corbin, Dolph Ziggler, Sheamus, Rick Boogs, Madcap Moss, Riddle, Drew McIntyre, Kevin Owens, Rey Mysterio, Kofi Kingston, Otis, Big E, Bad Bunny, Shane McMahon, Randy Orton, and Brock Lesnar. We knew that Styles was going to be in there, Shinsuke was going to be in there, Theory was going to be in there, Ford, Dawkins, Omos, we knew they were going to be in there. And even also, Johnny Knoxville, he qualified. Funny enough, he qualified to compete in the men's Royal Rumble match, which is insane. No pun intended with the last name of Zayn. But we did not know what surprises we were gonna have, and crazy enough, Drew McIntyre coming back, Bad Bunny making a comeback, right after his tour. Shane McMahon coming back, even though now he's got a lot of backstage heat. There's a lot of heat involving Shane McMahon. Apparently there's been a lot of bullshit. There's been a lot of bullshit going on in the backstage area. So wonder what that's about. And then of course Brock Lesnar coming, competing in the Royal Rumble. I think this would make it his what? Fourth? I think this makes it his fourth Royal Rumble, because I know his first Rumble was back in 2003 when he actually won it 19 years ago. His second Rumble was back in 2016 when he competed in the Royal Rumble for the WWE title. 2017 as well. I know he didn't compete in the 2018 men's. 2019 he didn't compete. 2020 he did, so that's 4. This actually makes it his 5th Royal Rumble is in his entire career in WWE. 5 Rumble matches overall. Wow, that's impressive. But funny, but it's interesting too, because Brock Lesnar entered his first Royal Rumble at number 29. His second Rumble back in 2016, I believe he entered at number 20? Somewhere in the 20s, I don't remember where. Lesnar was at 27 in 2017. In 2020, he entered the match at number 1, lasted over almost a half hour, which was impressive. And then of course this time entered the match at number 30. He eliminated 6 men. Why do I have to keep doing that? He eliminated, 6 men, I think? Yeah, 6 men. He eliminated, he eliminated 5 men. 5 men. The last 5 that were in the match. Riddle, Drew McIntyre, Bad Bunny, Shane McMahon, and Randy Orton. And Orton even admitted that he was gonna do what all that he could to win the Rumble in his hometown in St. Louis. This was the worst of them all. Don't get me wrong, the babyface, watching Brock Lesnar as a babyface, I love it. It's something new, something fresh for Brock Lesnar. But the fact that he decided to enter the men's Royal Rumble and just win the whole thing is a testament to how desperate Brock Lesnar is onto becoming world champion. That says a lot. If I had to pick of who I would like to see win, hands down, I would have been content. I would have been content with Drew McIntyre or Randy Orton. I would have been content with that, because with Orton, he would have made history as just the second man ever to win the Royal Rumble 3 times. The only other one, Stone Cold Steve Austin. I would have been content with that. Hell, I would have, crazy enough, I would have been content with, with Kofi Kingston winning, had it not been for that botch. But honestly, it is what it is. So yeah, I think I would probably say this was one of the worst Rumble cards we've had since 2015. That's just my honest opinion. But that brings me to the question of the day. what were your guys' thoughts on the 2022 Royal Rumble, and what was in your opinion, what was the match of the night? Because I think for me, definitely had to have been the WWE title between Lashley and Lesnar, in my honest opinion. So let me know in the comments below. And that is going to do it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel, you guys want to see more episodes of WWE's Biggest Issue, which get posted every Monday, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you guys do not miss out on any new content that comes your way. And be sure to follow me on Twitter and on Instagram. All the links will be down in the description below. And if you guys have any fan mail they want to send me and want me to open up on the channel, you guys can send it. Send me the fan mail through the address that is in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.